the recording. Okay. So here what happened? So here UVs and the PDN connect after attach complete UVs and the PDN connectivity request. Okay. So in that PDN connectivity request, UV include APN as a capital IMS. Okay. And PCO. This PCO is information regarding. I want some IP address, okay, for the IMS services. We will see this with what kind of IP address PCO includes. Okay, we will see in upcoming slide. At that time, I'll tell you. So here mainly two request is there. One is for the APN IMS. This IMS is a hard coded. Okay. Suppose during testing, sometime what happens if your IMS APN is set as a small IMS. That time also your PDN connectivity disconnect message you seen in your logs. Okay, so for that time you need to select whether your IMS APN is proper or not, and other things. Your sometimes what happens, your device may be not a voice centric device. Okay, so there is two kind of device. One is voice centric and one is data centric. So here data centric device support only data. Okay, uh, this data centric device doesn't support VoLTE, and voice centric device support VoLTE as well as data. Okay, this is the main difference. So you need to see from where you can find that information that my device is voice centric or data centric. So from the attach request message, okay, so this message is coming from the UV side. From that you can find the details like my device is voice centric or my device is data centric. Okay, so based on that you need to troubleshoot why UV is not sending the PDN connectivity for IMS, and even the UV is sending the PDN connectivity for IMS, then why PDN connectivity reject message UV receive. Okay, so you first of all you need to check whether my IMS APN is proper or not. Or in some time what happens, sometimes network support only IPv6, but IPv6 APN only, and IMS APN is set as IPv4 only. Okay, so this is also causing the issue, but generally you are not able to see the IMS APN in your phone. Now here what happened, they already hard coded, and they won't display like internet APN. Okay, so in your phone, if you open in setting mobile network in which APN, okay, where you are able to see only internet APN settings. Okay, where you are able to edit internet things, like if you want to go with IPv4, then you can select over there, okay, APN and all those stuff. But in the case of IMS, you cannot select. For that you need to raise the some ticket to the respective team. um, so they'll come up with the new build, and after that fix you can again retest the same case. So now once you send the PDN connectivity request to the MME, okay, in that PDN connectivity request, IMS and the PCO information is there. So how that PDN connectivity request is transmit from UV to MME using RRC uplink direct transfer. Okay, so in that message, this PDN connectivity request message is there. So this message eNodeB cannot decode because this is the NAS message. Then so
Sir,
directly sorry.
sorry, sir, to disturb you, but I want to ask that IMS is for data flow or both, voice or data flow both.
Sorry, can you come again?
IMS सिर्फ डेटा फ्लो के लिए है या फिर IMS डेटा फ्लो और कॉल फ्लो दोनों के लिए?
Okay, see, data flow in the sense of your internet traffic, you mean to say?
Yes, sir.
See, we already seen in our previous slide. Okay, attach complete default. So that IMS AP and QCI 9 is used for data traffic only. And this IMS, okay, today whatever we are learning, this is for VoLTE. So this PDN connectivity type is a QCI 9.
Okay.
Okay, are you getting my point? Or let me share my screen once again. Okay. Okay. So based on your question, see here EPS bearer, okay, there is
Okay.
two default bearer. One is for QCI 9. This QCI 9 is used for your data traffic, and this QCI 5 is used for your IMS traffic. Okay, so we already seen this QCI 9, how QCI 9 is established. Okay, this information in our previous lecture, and today we are learning about IMS only. So this IMS traffic only takes place when you dial a call. Okay, for
Okay.
your internet or for your WhatsApp call or your for Facebook call or for your Skype, the all data is going through this QCI 9 only. When your network support VoLTE, that time only this default QCI 5 bearer is established. Okay, otherwise it would not. Okay, so for each and every QCI, they by default give some EPS bearer identity. Based on that, it's identify over the network. Here you can see. Okay, and to communicate here for the using GTP tunnels. Okay, so for each and every GTP tunnels has a different tunnel ID name. It's this is the example. Okay, how tunnel ID is given. So based on that, UV and E-node B identify. See here, E-node B GTP tunnel here at this point is a 111, and here GTP tunnel ID here it's a 222, and here for the P gateway it's set as a GTP tunnel ID 333. Okay, like that.
सर
For
आईएमएस जो है वो वोल्टी वॉइस मतलब जो वोल्टी है वो सपोर्ट करता है, तो फिर थ्री
yes,
जी में जब हम इंटरनेट और वॉइस दोनों यूज करते थे तब वहाँ पे कुछ और था, मतलब जैसे
yes,
सर्किट स्विच
over
टाइप।
there, yes, there is the circuit switch type. Also, those things we will come up in our last slide. Okay, so
ओके।
when there is no VoLTE, okay, your device not support VoLTE, or maybe your network doesn't support VoLTE. So that time what? Okay, so that time
So, sir, that time
CSFB.
CSFB is used, na?
Yes,
Circuit switch fallback.
yes, you're right. Okay,
ओके सर।
hope you understand.
यस सर। थैंक यू सर।
Yeah, no problem. Are you able to see my slide now?
यस
PDN
सर।
call flow.
यस।
Okay. Okay. So once you send this PDN connectivity request for the IMS, okay. Now MME send this based on this IMS request. Okay. So now MME send the create session request to the IMS. Sorry, SI gateway. So SI gateway, what are the information MME send? So it's include IMSI, MSISD, and this is nothing but your mobile number MSISDN. Okay, then your APN, then PCO as per your request, IPv4 request or IPv6 request. Okay, this all information is hard coded in USIM or your ISIM only. Okay, we will learn about what is USIM, what is ISIM, and what is normal SIM. Then AMBR and tracking area identity, ECGI and MME, GTP tunnel ID, bearer context. Okay, all those information is included in create session request. Okay, then SI gateway check the credit control request with the help of PCRFs. Okay, so here it send the initial request and subscription ID. Okay, this could be IMSI or this could be GUTI also, UEIP and APN event report and QCI information and other information is there. Okay, now based on that request, PCRF respond the credit control answer. Okay, here. So now it's a list of event triggered and PCC rule. What kind of rule for this tunnel? Site gateway how to perform, and default bearer quality of service control information, like maximum number of bit site gateway can use for this default bearer. Okay, this all informations, it's a PCRF information is present, and other information like a call priority. Suppose you buy SIM card as a VIP customer. Okay, so your call priority is higher. So those all information is present in this policy discussion. Okay, and policy inform enforcement. Okay, this all information is present here. Based on that only network prioritize your call. Then based on this credit control answer, our site gateway send the create session response to the MME. Okay, here this one. So here whatever information site gateway receive from the PCRF, they just transmit. Additionally, they send this new tunnel ID and QCI information. Okay, this all information site gateway sends to the MME, and based on that what happened, MME send this active default EPS bearer contact request, in which your IP address and other information present regarding the IMS. Okay, so what kind of IP address you will again request to the MME, we will see this new IP address request. Okay, in upcoming slide. ERAB setup request to the inode B. In this, once MME send this active default EPS bearer context request, in background, MME send the ERAB setup request to the inode B. Okay, and this RRC reconfiguration. Okay, this include the NAS piggyback message active default EPS bearer contact request. Okay, so once you will receive the this RRC reconfiguration. Okay, so in which DRB information here, previously suppose if we give the DRB ID as a 4. Okay, now for the IMS again DRB ID, one new DRB ID we need to give. This DRB ID suppose we give as a 5. Okay, so for 5 also it's include the MAC, PDCP, RLC, and whatever other channel information required for this DRB. Those all information is included in the RRC reconfiguration message. Based on that, UV response RRC reconfiguration complete message. Here, once inode be receive this message, then inode be send this ERAB setup response. Okay, upon the request message of the ERAB setup request message from the MME. Okay, now your UL S1 bearer is established. Okay, so now now inode B can directly communicate with the site gateway. Okay, they just bypass the MME for the user traffic. Okay, for the control traffic, inode B have to communicate first to the MME, then MME take the decision, and based on that, site gateway, MME inform to the site gateway. Now onwards, that decision, both inode B and site gateway both have to agree. Okay, now your active default EPS bearer contact request. Okay, based on this active default EPS bearer contact request. Okay, this 21 message. So based on that request message, now UV send the active default EPS bearer contact accept message. Okay, this message also piggyback with this RRC connection reconfiguration complete message only. Okay, and it's transmit using the uplink direct transfer. Okay, now this NAS message. So once the inode be received this message, it just bypass this to the MME. So now your IMS bearer is established here. Okay, now okay, here we are able to see here here more two message like MMEs and the modify bearer request. Okay, so in which that GTP tunnel ID and bearer context related information is there, and modify bearer response sent by SI gateway to the MME. So in which establishment cause and bearer context related information is present. So now your end-to-end UV to SI gateway. Okay, this end-to-end EPS default bearer for the SIP flow. We also learned what is SIP. Okay, for the IMS, this information is going through only this QCI 5 bearer, default bearer. Okay, so a bearer setup. Okay, at this point network must send up additional bearer to carry over IMS VoLTE calls. Okay, to establish EPS bearer network send radio bearer reconfiguration message. You respond with the reconfiguration bearer complete message. Okay, these two messages we already seen in our previous slide. Now P-CSCF discovery. Okay, so what is PCS discovery? So I told you that UV send the PCO information. Okay, so that PCO in which UV ask for the IP address. So now UV ask for the IP address of for PCSCF discovery. So this PCSCF is the starting point of the IMS. Okay, first point of contact we can say. So before sending any session initiate protocol. Okay, SIP request. Okay, this is also one new protocol for IMS only. The UV must perform the PCSCF discovery. The process of identify by the address, the correct proxy call session control function. The PCSCF address may be discovered in one of the three way. Okay, this is the three way. It may be stored in the IP multimedia service identity module. So in ISIM only the PCSCF discovery information is present. Generally this information is not present. Okay, most of the network. Then second option, the UV may request in the part of PDN connectivity request during the attach procedure. So this is our attach procedure. Okay, so whatever call flow we seen in our this slide here, PCO. Okay, so in this PCO you will request for the this um, PCF discovery address. And third option is the UV may request an IP address and fully qualified domain name from a DHCP server and then perform a DNS query on the returning IP address and FQCN, fully qualified domain name. Okay, this is the additional entity. Generally no operator is going with this additional entity, because with once you add the additional entity in your network, you need to invest for that entity. Investment in the sense of you need to buy that particular features from the vendor, and for that you need to assign some engineer, and whatever something happen, it takes lots of time and lots of money. So nobody going with the third option. Generally all the operator going with the second option. Okay, I work in most of the world operator. Okay, so generally always they send the PDN connectivity request. Okay, that PCSCF discovery information in that PDN connectivity request message only with the PCO. Okay, you can find that information. Now we are learning VoLTE. Okay, so what is VoLTE? So VoLTE is nothing but your voice over LT. Okay, so your voice is transmit over the LT. So LT previously in 2G and 3G data is transmit over circuit switch, but in the case of VoLTE, your data is transmit over the IP packet. So here that's why they mention voice over LT. So in 5G also they mention voice over NR. Okay, VoNR. If you buy a new phone, so you need to check whether your phone is supported VoNR or not. Okay, maybe that the same phone is supported VoLTE only, or they not support VoNR as of now. No, normally nothing is changed, just VoNR. So all your data transmit over the new radio. New radio we term use in the sense of 5G. Okay. So what is the benefit of the VoLTE? So its a benefit is the HD voice. If you call using geophone, okay, so you may be, notice like your voice traffic quality is very good compared to if you dial the call from the Airtel or Vodafone. Okay. And to establish the connection between two entity, party A and party B. Okay, so for the connection establishment, okay, once you dial the call from the Airtel, okay, to another Airtel guys or another Geo guys, it takes lots of time, around 1 minute, 1 minute, like two. But in the case of Geo, if you call other Geo guys, okay, so it takes only hardly 0.25 second to establish the call. And this is the information. So what is the LT? Okay, hope everybody understand. So for enabling the VoLTE, UV should support the SIP enabler. Okay, user agent is there in UV. We will see what kind of user agent is required in the UV in upcoming slide. And generally to transmit that data and voice traffic, okay, they use the LTE network, core network. And that LTE core network is directly connect with the IMS core network. Okay, we also called as a SIP network. And if you dial any telephonic number like a normal PSTN number, okay, so for that also that IMS core is connected with that voice core PSTN. Normally you can call as STD or those kind of call. Okay. So benefit of VoLTE for the end user, the fast call setup. Okay, as I described. So VoLTE can connect the call up to twice as faster as currently used 2G and 3G network. Typically, 2G and 3G call takes 4 to 6 seconds, while VoLTE calls record only 2 seconds. Okay, for the call setup connection. Uh, Superior call ex experience. Okay, so as I told in previous slide, like your voice quality is higher compared to 2G and 3G. And video calling, so one more additional features here we have, like video calling also you can do using the VoLTE only. Okay, so for the video calling, again you need to establish one more dedicated bearers. Okay, for the VoLTE you need to establish a dedicated bearer QCI1, and for the video call you need to establish a dedicated bearer QCI2. Okay, so once anybody asks you how many default bearer is there, so you can tell like in interview, like default bearer for the internet connectivity, most of the operator using QCI9, but some of the other operator also use the QCI8. And then for the IMS signaling, one more default bearer is established, QCI5 for the IMS signaling. And once UV call, okay, so once user call, okay, party A to party B, so that time your default bearer, only normal voice traffic is there. That time QCI1 is established. Suppose if you are doing video call, that time your QCI2 also established along with the QCI1s, because QCI2 is used for the video only, but during video call also we required audio. Okay, so for that your QCI1 also established. So that time you have a 4 DRB is there at a time. Okay, simultaneously 4 DRB is working. And another last benefit is better battery life. Anyone who currently use 4G could also find their battery life is increased with this VoLTE. For non-VoLTE calls, handsets need to switch from 4G to under like 3G or legacy 2G network to receive voice call. This is doing using CSFB, okay, circuit switch fallback technology. This frequency switch of a mobile from 4G to 3G and vice versa consume lots of battery. In the VoLTE call, user need not to go to the 2G or 3G network to receive voice call. Okay, that UV can use the LTE network only. So for using that, we can save the battery. Okay. And our next slide.
Sir, hello? Hello, sir? Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. So
Hello, sir?
building block. So here for the vertical, okay, so we required ISIM. Okay, so what is ISIM? We will learn what is ISIM in upcoming slide. So generally ISIM is include IMP and IMPU. Okay, this two information in additionally add in normal using. Okay, and other things from the handset side, we required the SIP user agent is installed or which is included with the UV binary. And from the network side, generally whatever network core elements are there, they always there. In for the IMS core side, there is more uh, like entity introduced: P-CSCF, ICSCF and SCSCF. Okay, these three we will learn in upcoming slide. And we also learning about this TAS and okay, this other IMS core element. Generally suppose some interviewer ask up to task only, because nobody understand the B gateway and MRF, because this is the IMS core part. For that they have a different kind of engineer, they only work on this IMS core side. Those guys only know. Better you just know, you should know about this LT core elements only, like inode B, MME, SI gateway, P gateway, HSS, PCRF. Okay, you already learned these things in your previous sessions. And fourth one is your voice core PST. And generally, if you are a dialing call like a landline call, okay, so that time only your PSTN things is coming. Okay, so for the controlling plan, MSS and MSC is using for the control plan. And for the user plan, like to transmit voice call traffic, RTP traffic. Okay, for that this media gateway is used for the here. So SIP enable user equipment. This handset or smartphone need to be VoLTE compliant, where SIM should support iSIM and SIP user agent for making a VoLTE call based on the SIP technology. Second, VoLTE call required adaptability from both handset and underlying LTE network. 4G network also need to adapt with minor tweaks to support VoLTE. Third one is your IMS network is sitting on the top of underlying LTE network. Here IMS core will be interfacing with the traditional LTE network nodes such as the P gateway, PCRF and SSS. Okay, so IMS is communicate with the P gateway, PCRF and SSS for the required informations. Okay, we will learn this what kind of informations IMS required in upcoming slide. In last and right hand corner, we are having PSTN network consist of MSS, MCS and M gateway. Okay, this is only when you are using, when you are dial landline call, that time only this fourth number things is coming under picture. So before starting in detail learning about IMS core elements, okay, we'll go through what kind of protocol interface is there. Okay, so in LT user plan, okay, in LT user plan we have this user plan. So for that S1, S5, SGI, this user plan protocol we are using interface. Okay, in LT control plan S1, S10, S11, S6 interface we are using. Okay, this interface is connect between different entity like inode B, MME, SI gateway. Okay, all this. Once I talking about SI gateway, so you need to include both S gateway and P gateway. So once you include both, that time only we can say as a SI gateway in terms of the telecom. And one more from the IMS side, IMS user plan include GM, SIP, and IZI, sorry LZI, and for the IMS control plan, they have a different interface: HSS, RO, CX, RX, SV, ISC, MW, MG, or MI. This is the control plan. Okay, we do not require to learn this information. Okay, what kind of interface is used by IMS core. Okay, this information only required once you are giving an interview for the IMS core. Okay, and here new RTP, okay, real-time protocol, what is diameter and what is SDIP or SDAP. Okay, session description protocol, session initiation protocol, this all information we will learn about, learn in upcoming slide. Here, okay, here UDP, generally in our network we are using UDP and TCP. To both these both protocol you already know. In UDP you don't require to resend the packet. Okay, and UV or network don't require to acknowledge any packet if receiver party would not receive that packet that time. But in the case of TCP, the receiver party has to send the acknowledgement. Based on that only, sender party can send the new packet, or otherwise it send retransmit the same packet. But here one more, instead of TCP we are using SCTP. Okay, why we are using SCTP, so we will learn in upcoming slide here. Okay, okay, so here difference is there for SCTP, okay, and UDP. So SCTP means for as a stream control transmission protocol. So what is the benefit and when we are using this information? Okay, so SCTP will using required strong and robust media connectivity, provide super reliable communication, connection oriented protocol similar to TCP. Okay, both protocol are same, connected connection oriented protocol. Why this is connection oriented protocol? Because it's required to acknowledge whatever packet received by the receiver. Okay, provide the facilities such as multi-streaming and multi-homing, better performance and redundancy. S1AP and X2AP and diameter related information generally SCTP carry. Best suitable for the control plan only. Okay, so this protocol is used for the control plan, close reliable networks such as billing, charging, and authentication. Okay, for this kind of service only SCTP is used. Okay, for the user data traffic we are using UDP. Okay, so in UDP, why we are using UDP? It's suitable for the non-reliable media. Okay, so generally for a user packet does not guarantee data bit in order to receive. Okay, minimum message oriented transport layer protocol enable two hosts to connect and send a short message to another. This UDP is generally used for the user plan only. So what kind of interface they can support? Like S1U, GTP version 1, okay, S5 or S8. S5 is home P gateway, or S8 used for the roaming P gateway. Then control plan is meaning to between controlling information when MME asks. So that time your GTP version 2C is used. Here 2C is for the control plan, 1U is for your user plan. Best suited for a long distance and open network such as a roaming etc. Okay, so that time we are using UDP. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear
Hello,
me?
sir.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Your audio is something wrong with your.
Hello?
Can you take out the headphones? Can you go there?
Hello?
Can you zoom the mouse? No, everything is fine.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Chaitanya. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Okay, so from where I left, you are not able to hear my voice. Can you tell me? So
Sir,
I'll
we
repeat.
can. We were able to hear, but you were not able to hear us.
Okay. Okay. So you understand what is UDP, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next slide.
सर वो प्रीवियस स्लाइड्स में हम बात करना चाहते थे बट हमारी आवाज जा नहीं रही थी.
Okay, for SCTP and UDP.
QCI पढ़ा रहे थे तब.
Okay.
SIP flow and all that.
Okay. Okay. Tell me in which slide? Here.
Previous. Yes. ये.
Here. Okay.
सर वो आपने कहा था कि QCI हम लोग मतलब मोर देन वन डिफॉल्ट बियरर्स फॉर्म करते हैं जब हम लोग वीडियो कॉल करते हैं, राइट?
Dedicated beer.
डेडिकेटेड.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the VoLTE, okay, for the QCI one, okay, your VoLTE traffic, normal audio. For that, we are establishing default bearer as a QCI one, and for if you are a make a VoLTE, sorry, video call. So for that, you for the video, you need to establish one more default bearer QCI two. Okay,
Okay.
and that time also for the audio traffic, we also need to establish a default bearer QCI one. Okay,
तो
generally
वी
if you
रिक्वायर्ड.
notice, sorry,
तो हम लोगों को सिर्फ दो लगेंगे ना, QCI1 and QCI2 while video calling.
yeah, QCI2 and QCI1 to transmit the data. Okay, और suppose आप कोई कॉल लगा रहे हो, okay, वीडियो कॉल है, so for वीडियो कॉल आपको वीडियो के लिए QCI2 and ऑडियो के लिए आपको QCI1 लगेगा, and simultaneously you are downloading something, so now you are three bearer at a time working. And suppose if you are traveling and suppose something is wrong, so that time your IMS signaling part means QCFI also, that time your dedicated sorry, default bearer QCFI also coming under picture. Okay,
Okay.
so four
QCI5.
DBR also as simultaneously work at a time.
Okay. Okay,
So
sir.
up to 8 bearer you can support DRB, okay, and generally 3 SRB at a time. So normally if somebody asks you during your interview question like uh, UV, how much EREB at a time UV can support, okay, so you can answer as a 11 EREB at a time support by the UV. So out of 11, your 3 is for your SRB 012 and remaining 8 is used for your DRB. Okay,
Yes.
this type of question maybe they'll ask, but it's up to you. You should know all these things. So now another thing is your diameter word. Okay, so there are two more protocol is a diameter, and generally diameter is used for your control plan, okay, in our LTE core network, but in IMS core network generally they use the session initiated protocol. Okay. Uh, so this is the difference between SIP and diameter. So here in SIP, it stands for the session initiate protocol, used for the controlling voice multimedia calls, use RTP and RTCP for the media plan. This RTP and RTCP is nothing but your once if I'm speaking something, so these things is stored in AMR. Okay, so every 20 milliseconds this packet is created by UV or sender UV also. Okay, and receiver UV both. So here every 20 millisecond after one RTP packet created, in which whatever I'm speaking, those information is stored, and it in the form of AMR. Okay, this information every 20 millisecond. Okay, so after every 20 millisecond, network send this data to the party B. Okay, and RTCP is this is one more protocol in top of RTP. This is generally used, what is the quality of RTP packet. Okay, for that we are using RTCP packet. Why we are using this RTP packets in upcoming slide we are learning. Okay, message set. Second thing is SIP message setup to establish towing together and tear down and terminate of the multimedia communication. For that SIP session this SIP protocol is used. Then this is the five functions okay, of the SIP: user location, user availability, your capabilities, session setup or session management. Okay, these all informations. Then diameter. So when we are using diameter, generally evolution of radius. So there is two kind of protocol for the authentication: radius and TACAX. Okay, so this both protocol generally used for the authentication, authorization and accounting purpose. So it's reliable and secure, okay, to run the TCP or SCTP. Okay, generally in our network SCTP only use. Okay, it's same similar as TCP only. That's why support failover mechanism to maintain the redundancy, support for a proxy and relay agent, support a capability and negotiation via mandatory and optional AVPS, and provide a dynamic discovery of the peers. Okay, for that in our LTE core network diameter, we are using this triple S server authentication, accounting and authorizations. Okay, now RTP and RTCP. 1 minute. RTP is originated and receive an even port numbers, and associate RTCP communication use the next higher odd port number. Okay, RTCP is designed for end-to-end and real-time transfer of stream data. So here if we are instead of RTP, if we are using UDP only directly, okay, to transmit the our voice data. Okay, so what happened? So at the receiver side, based on time, every 20 millisecond time, because in every 20 millisecond UV generate one our voice packet and it transmit to the over the network to the party B. So if we are not using real time, okay, so if you notice in your UDP protocol structure, in other also like TCP protocol and other protocol, if we consider in that protocol structure, your real time is not there. Okay, so that's why they are using RTP protocol to transmit the voice packet. Okay, so in RTP they use the design for end-to-end and real time. This is real time. So in that RTP packet, your time information is present. Transfer of the stream data. The protocol provide facility for a jitter compensation and detection of out of sequence arrive in data. Suppose party A calling to party B. Okay, so here it may be possible due to poor connections, party B, not receiving some of the packet, or it may be delay the your packet. Okay, so suppose packet 1 transmit from party A to B. Okay, then packet 2 transmit, it takes some, suppose packet A takes 10 millisecond, packet B takes 5 millisecond, packet packet 3 takes around 20 milliseconds. Okay, so that average time, okay, we called as a jitter. Okay, for the jitter compensation and detection of the out of sequence arrival in data, there are common during transmission on a IP network. RTP support data transfer to multiple destination to IP multicast. Okay, how multiple destination? Suppose if you are doing uh, you know conference call. Okay, so whatever you are speaking, those information transmit to multiple users. Okay. This RTP is regarded as a primary standard for audio video transport in IP networks and is used with the associated profile and payload format. Now we are learning about IPv core network element. Okay, whatever generally we should know. Okay, maybe in interview they don't ask, but if they ask you, you should at least know. Okay, so IMS could in various bit and piece to make in more clear to understand. IMS core consists of broadly two type of network element. First one is SIP infrastructure, and another type of node are media gateway. These are two tightly coupled under IMS core. Okay, so function of SIP server. So user are going to register with SIP server, which is a part of control plan and signaling. Okay, this SIP server will set up media part or payload of voice call with media gateways on in media gateway. Okay, with further connect to the PSTN, and SIP server is anchoring point for the setup for session setup, session tear down, session control, and CDR generation. Okay, this SIP server is used. So in SIP server we have three different PSTN, PCSCF, ICSCF, and SCSF. We're learning about all this SIP server information in upcoming slide. Second main part is your media gateway. So when we are using media gateway, so media gateway is highlighted in green color. Okay, in above figure, media gateway is responsible for carrying actual voice traffic and handling it over to another network. Okay, it could be the PSTNs once you are dialing um, once you are dialing landline. Okay, using that time we are using PSTN or other IMS. Once you are calling from VoLTE call, if you are establishing VoLTE call between two VoLTE supported device, that time any call coming from traditional 2G or 3G or fixed line network is using this media gateway as an entry point to the IMS VoLTE. Suppose if your calling party A is supporting VoLTE, but your receiving party B is not supporting VoLTE. So that time also your call is established. Like suppose in a live example, Geo support only VoLTE. Okay, so from you are dialing VoLTE your phone, okay, Geo phone, to another Vodafone or Idea. Okay, so those Vodafone Idea only support your CSFB. Okay, that time your call is establishing, but it took some time. Media gateway is a interconnect point to the CS circuit switch network and another IMS network. It also handle uh, transcoding of the media plane. Okay, so here As I told you previously, we will learn what kind of SIM card we are using in our phone in upcoming slide. Okay, this is the slide in which we are learning about types of SIM card. So normally, generally, when we are using GSM, okay, that time only SIM is using. This is the thread. Its full name is subscriber identity module. Traditional SIM. Okay, this is the traditional SIM, and this an integrated circuit that's securely stored in international mobile subscription identity and related key used to identify and authentication subscriber and mobility telephone. Okay, so generally in SIM card, what are the information is present? Your IMSI, and then your authentication key and mobile telephony, like supported PLMN list, or sometime it's also store the your supported band also in that PLMN. Okay, so this is your normal SIM. Okay, we are using in GSM. So once your LTE comes, that time that SIM card is upgraded. Okay, so now after upgrading this SIM card, so it's called as a USIM. Okay, so USIM stand for UMTS subscribe identity module. So this is new age SIM came to support USIM for LTE network. Okay, so suppose if you are transmit from the legacy network to the upgraded network, so that time your SIM capacity should change. Okay, and its SIM card also supports some new things. Okay, for that you have to upgrade your SIM card. Okay, generally everybody face this kind of issue. If you are a Vodafone user, or if you are a Airtel users, okay, they told you in 1 rupees they upgrade your 3G SIM to 4G SIM. Okay, because your 3G and 2G SIM is normally SIM card. Okay, but your 4G SIM is your U SIM. Okay, and third one is iSIM. So when your device, or when sorry, when operator support VoLTE, so that time they distribute iSIM. Okay, you so generally during our testing, generally we are facing this kind of issue. So tester is using USIM. Okay, and they come up, sir, our IMS or our PDN connectivity for IMS is not established. Okay, why? What is the issue? Once we check that, that time we found that that particular guy is using USIM. Okay, for the vertical you should use ISIM. ISIM is stand for IP multimedia service identity module. Okay, so ISIM, additionally they store two more informations with the IMSI authentication KK and PLM. Okay, in SIM card domain we are called as a profile. Okay, so this is the profile, user profile. Okay, generally it's pushed from the network side over the air. So ISIM include two more entity, IMPI and IMPU. So what is IMPI? IMPI is private entity, global identity allocated by home network, and IMPU is a public identity like a telephone number. Okay, like SIP URI. Once you check the SIP URI in upcoming slide, I'll show you that this number is included, your mobile number. Okay. And this is from the SIM card point of view, but in user mobile point of view also, your SIP user agent should be included with the binary. Okay, so what is SIP user agent? So it's reside in the UV, transmit and receive SIP message. Okay, so if your device doesn't support to VoLTE, okay, so it means your SIP user agent is not there. So if you that time if you insert the iSIM, okay, so that time your data service is working fine, but your VoLTE things is not working. Okay, for that your UV also support the SIP user agent. Okay, It's provide telephoning functionality and can act as a user agent client or user agent server, okay, to receive and transmit the data. So these two things is required. Okay, so generally you need to check whether your SIM card is iSIM or not for the testing if your PDN connectivity is not established. And second thing, your device is voice centric or data centric. Okay, these things you can check from the attach request message. Okay, so this is the two way. And iSIM and USIM you can identify based on the serial number. For each and operator they have a different number how to identify it. Okay, so it's up to operator only. So you can ask your superior in future that I'm using iSIM or USIM, can you tell me how can I distinguish? Okay, so they'll guide you. So mainly for the call flow, okay, we need to know only IMS core part as a P-CSCF, I-CSCF and SCSCF. Okay, the CSCF means is call session control functions. Okay, CSCF stand for. Okay, the CSCF are the core component of the IMS. There are three core component. Okay, IP IMS server. Okay, previous slide we already seen. Okay, main entity like SIP server and media gateway. So in SIP server, this PCSCF, ICSCF and SCSCF, these are the three component includes. Okay, IMS core. The proxy CSCF. Okay, the proxy CSCF is the first point of contact for the user. So in previous attach IMS, okay, in which we ask to the networks, tell me the IP address of the PCSCF, okay, which could be your IPv4, IPv6, or both IPv4, IPv6. Okay, the PCSF behave like a proxy. It's accept the request and forward them to respective ICSCF. Okay, so what is ICSF? It's a interrogation CSCF. The ICSF is the entity contact within a operator network for all connection designed to the subscriber. Okay, so generally ICSF is used to find the SCSF. Okay, the SCSF is could be your home SCSF or your visitor SCSF. Okay, so what is stand for the SCSF? The serving CSCF. The the SCSCF is responsible for handling the registration process, making routing decision, maintaining the sessions, and downloading user information and service profile from the SSS. Okay, so in previous slide we we just gave the overview what is the PCSCF, ICSCF and SCSF. Now we are learning in detail about all these PCSCF, ICSCF and SCSCF. Okay, so SIP proxy, okay, we also called PCSCF as a SIP proxy or proxy CSCF. Okay, so what is the main function of a PCSCF? This SIP proxy is sitting in front of SIP server. Okay, here you can see from the LTE core network, okay, SI gateway, P gateway, here your SIP proxy is sitting. SIP proxy is the first point of entry point to the IMS network, is used for various purpose. Okay, various purpose. What kind of various purpose? Like to selecting ICSCF and other functions. The proxy SIP server is typically located in visitor PLM network. It's also located in home PLM network also. Okay, this SIP proxy has several impact functions such as validate the corresponding of SIP message. Okay, validation. Okay, these are the main function of PCSCF. Ensuring the security. Okay, so previously in LTE case, once UV is attaching for the initial attach and normal attach, okay, that time also your authentication happened. Once your IMS session or registration happened, that time also your again authentication happened. This is for the IMS. and that is for the your LT coordinator, and this is for the IMS coordinator. Okay, authentication and asserts the identity of the UV. This is the valid UV or not, and it's find out the home SIP server and routing traffic the same. Okay, so if you notice, the SIP is find the ICSCF, ICF find the SCSF. Okay, these things. And SIP also, as this is the first point of contact for the IMS core, so your user data like VoLTE traffic, RTP and RTCP packet also transmit this way, media gateway also. Okay, this is the main functionality of P-CSCF. Okay, next we are learning about interrogate ICSF. Name it stands only. So belong to the home network. Interrogate the SSH to determine SIP server. Okay, during the registration and during the MT call routing. Okay, so you, when you are doing any testing, so that time two terms you always, MO and MT. Okay, MO is mobile originating. Okay, so mobile originating means a party A originating call to the party B. Okay, so that time you are the originating, party A is the originating, and mobile terminating means mobile B. Okay, party B originating the call, and for the party A is the mobile terminating, means they receiving the call. So here ICSF, so here two things are here. One is interrogate and another is a home subscribe server. Okay, so ICSF is connected with the SCSF and to find the HSS for the information of the subscription. So this is the main functionality of the interrogate CSCF. So SIP proxy forward the request to the interrogate, which is done find out where SIP server to select. Okay, so initially once you will send the registration request, so that time PCSCF don't know about the ICSC, PCF don't know about where I need to transmit that SIP registration request message. Okay, so for that, ICSF comes under the picture and they interrogate like, I need to send this SIP server. Okay, SIP server could be home or could be visitor PLM, and that's why they ask HSS about this information. Where is the SIP server for this particular UV? User may be served by various SIP server, while only one SIP server SIP server serves at a time to the customer, while SIP proxy is usually located in roaming or visited network. Interrogate site in home network. The main task of interrogate is select the core SIP server and register which is going to server user. All this communication between proxy and interrogate and SIP server is SIP to SIP to SIP. Okay, this all information is transmitted using SIP protocol only. From let me show you. From here to here SIP, and from interrogate to SIP server S. Okay, for here also your SIP. Okay, so here they are using SIP protocol only. ICSF query the HSS using the diameter CS interface to retrieve the user location and route the SIP request. It's assigned SCSCF. Okay, assigned SCSF, as I told, based on maybe if you are in home PLMN. Okay, so that time your home SIP server is used, and suppose if you are in visitor PLM, that time it's assigned new SIP server SCSF to, with respect to your visitor locations. Okay, so during registration and during MT call, this is all about your interrogate ICSCF. Next one is your SSS. So what is the main function of SSS? SSS is the database of all subscription and service data. SSS contain the subscription related information like user profile and used by the control layer. SSS is the master user database that is used for registration and authentication in both LTE network and IMS also. Okay, this allows the user to access the packet and circuit domain of the network initially via IMSI authentication. SSL communication is via diameter protocol. Okay, and for super easy understanding, SSS is used as a profile or database of user where all information is saved. This SSS will decide whether you are allowed to VoLTE or not. Okay, based on your how to say, based on your money in your account. Okay, whether you are allowed to latch an LTE network or not. Okay, suppose your plan is expired. Okay, so you cannot latch in LTE network, or you cannot establish a call. Okay, so there's all things HSS control. And one more, task. Okay, so what is task? Task is a telephony app server, TP type of server, app server. Okay, telephonic server, video services, and multimedia services. Okay, so for the audio traffic we are using different tasks, for the video services we are using different tasks, and for the gaming also we can use the task. Okay, for that also we can use the IMS server. Okay, for that also you need, operator need to use the different tasks. Task is a telephonic brain to the IMS and equivalent to the MSC. Like if you heard about PST in your course, so what is MSC for the PST, and you learn over there. Okay, so main function of task, okay, is your supplementary services. So when I told you about supplementary services, okay, they in interviewer also ask in VoLTE what are the supplementary services is there. So like a call waiting, hold, forwarding, okay, transfer blocking services, malicious call, seller identity, lawful interceptions, announcement or conference. Okay, these are the supplementary services. Generally we are call waiting, hold, call forwarding, okay, call conference or call transfer. This all information generally we are using in our day-to-day life. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so IMS was never identity to be limited of voice service. Rather it was designed for multimedia services, and voice is only part of the same. IMS is not a service but a service facility network. uh, Facilitated network, it enable user to access various applications such as telephony services. Okay, telephony services like your audio traffic. For that we have a different task. For video traffic we have a different task. For the gaming also you can use. Okay, generally no operator is using for the gaming telephonic services. Okay, but you can use app server handler a telephonic part, while SIP server is still connecting sessions such as initiation, maintaining and tear down of the sessions. Okay, it facilitate the telephonic brain to the app server. TAS is a telephonic app server used for the telephonic service such as a call waiting, call holding, call picking up, call forwarding, call transfer, call blocking services, malicious call identity, and so on. Okay, this is also called as your supplementary services. We can various app servers such as a video app server, conference bridge server, etc. App server are not considered a part of IMS core. Okay, this is the not part of the IMS core services. It's a external element. Okay, last is your okay, last and least in your media control. Okay, so what kind of media control? Okay, generally PCSCF. Okay, if you notice here, mm P-CSCF directly connect with the media controller, media gateway. So what is the main function? So generally, whatever your traffic is there, okay, or you want to communicate with the PSTN. Once I told you PSTNs are okay. The PSTN is nothing but your landline. Okay, for that your PSTN is the core network for the landline. We can say, or other IMS communication. Okay, so PCSCF is directly connect with the media controller or media gateway. User can make a call to PSTN network or fixed line network where media control and gateway is supposed to speak to PSTN network over the SS7 protocol or ISUP protocol. Okay, generally we are not learning about this. Okay, this is the not part because this thing is once you are SIP engineer or IMS core engineer, so that time only you need to know all this information, otherwise it's not required. And during the your protocol testing interview, nobody ask about the media gateway and media controller. If anybody ask, you can say it is the gateway. Okay, so PCSCF can communicate to the other IMS network or PSTN network. Okay, this is all about your IMS server. So now we are learning about the call flow. So one more call flow. Okay, so you we will learn this call flow tomorrow. Our time is already extended. Okay, so we will learn this call flow tomorrow. And tomorrow also I'll tell you about LT releases. In release 8 what happened, release 9 what happened, and release 10 what happened. And tomorrow we'll conclude our session after this. So your LT things is over here. Okay, so now then after your next session, miss okay, we'll take care of your 5G part. Okay, if you
Okay,
have
sir.
any questions, you can ask me tomorrow. Okay, for the today session you can ask me right now. For other questions, if we have time tomorrow, we will discuss more about. Okay, but generally in all release I'll cover everything which will help you out to your interview time. And I'll also share one PDF with you, okay, through that group. Okay, in which some question answer is there. Generally those kind of question generally they ask, you can go through it. Okay, it will help you out more to understand how to crack the interview. So generally they'll interviewer ask you about what tell me about LT architecture. Okay, tell me about LT call flow. Yes, previous session we already learned these things. Tell me about VoLTE registration. Okay, tell me about VoLTE call flow. Okay, what is initial sessions, once power on what happened, initial registration, this kind of question they'll ask. Those all maybe that are included in that PDF whatever I'll share with you. Okay, so anybody have any questions, now they can ask me.
हेलो सर।
Yeah, tell me.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है बट वो अभी आज के सेशन से रिलेटेड नहीं है तो पूछ सकते हैं?
Yeah, tell me, no problem.
सर व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन फिजिकल सेल आईडी एंड सेल आईडी? वो प्रैक्टिकल करते वक्त हमें मींस
Okay.
आईडीज में दो आईडी थे, मतलब
Yeah,
एक फिजिकल सेल आईडी।
yeah, okay. So your PCI is nothing but suppose okay, let me show you. Where is the okay? So one side. Okay, this is the one side. So one side have a 3 sector. In every side, most of the time 3 sector is there. Okay, sometimes we use the 4 sector also, but it's where we have a high data density, that time only we are using 4 sector. But generally, okay, if you notice, uh, in any towers, there is only 3 type of antenna, same antenna in 3 different direction. Okay, so we called as a sector. Okay, so one sector we assign as a particular PCI. Suppose this sector have a PCI 1, this sector have a PCI 2, and this sector have a PCI 3. Okay, so we distinguish this node B. Okay, this node B is connected with 3 different antenna, and each and every antenna has a different PCI. Okay, so this antenna cover 120 degree here, this antenna cover 120 degree here. Okay, this is collapse, but generally it's like this only. Some interference is here only. Okay, this 2 and 3 2 coverage 3 coverage is here. Okay, so each and every sectors cover 120 degree. Okay, so if you total of 120 plus 120 plus 120, so your overall 360 circle is there. So this all sector cover the 360 degree. Okay, hope you understand till
Yes,
now.
sir.
PCI, what is PCI? For each and every sector we need to give identity. For that, why we give the PCI. Okay,
Okay.
and what is cell identity? Cell identity you can find in SIB 1. Okay, generally cell identity use the unique identity for that node B.
Okay.
Okay, this is the main difference. So PCI information you can find from the PSS after decoding PSS and SSS. Okay, after there is one formula I told you in previous session, like 3 SSS plus PSS. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so this is the PCI, and cell identity is your node B identity. So this identity is unique.
Okay.
Okay,
मीन्स
any other
PCID
question?
इज फॉर एंटीनास होते हैं जो सेल हमारे जो सेक्टर वाइज डिवाइडेड होते हैं वो
Yes,
ऑलरेडी फिक्स्ड होते हैं, मतलब वो ज्यादा नहीं होंगे फिर.
जनरली 3 ही रहते हैं. ओके, सो 3 वो कवर करते हैं 360 डिग्री, बट 4 भी हो सकते हैं. व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू वर्क विद सैमसंग, दैट टाइम आई आल्सो टेस्ट फॉर द 4 सेक्टर. ओके, so that
Okay.
time you can divide 360 divide by 4. Okay, those number of angle that antenna can cover.
Okay.
Okay, for that we need to use the different antenna.
Okay.
So in your antenna, uh, in your engineering, antenna, multi-type of antenna is there: omnidirectional, bidirectional, okay, horn antenna. So generally in 5G testing we are using horn antenna to transmit the millimeter wave. So
Yes.
this is the thing. Any other question do you have? Nobody have any other questions, but so I want to ask just a feedback. Are you able to understand what I am trying to teach you today or previous lecture?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you have any question you can ask me. Okay, and tomorrow also I am taking your class. Okay, tomorrow only. So if you have any question you can ask me tomorrow only. Okay,
Okay, sir.
anything you can ask me about 4G and 5G, I can guide you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So if nobody have any question, we can conclude our session for the today. Is it fine for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye.
sir.